In 2017, there were certain fighters who made their UFC debut where they put on great performances and were able to have a massive impact in their weight classes. So here is 10 most promising newcomers of 2017. Number 10. Titoo was set to make his UFC debut against Rashad Coulter at UFC Final 121. He had fought as a professional boxer, where he compiled a record of 5 wins and 2 losses before transitioning to mixed martial arts, where all of his fights have been finished in the first round. At UFC Final 121, Titoo hit Rashad Coulter with a flying knee, immediately getting the knockout victory. Titoo is an excellent addition to the heavyweight division, where it will be interesting to see how he progresses in the weight class in 2018. Number 9. Gokhan Saki was set to make his UFC debut against Enrique de Silva at UFC Final 117 in Japan. He was coming into the UFC with a heavy background in kickboxing. We had defeated top kickboxers such as Tyrone Spong, Melvin Manhoff, and many more. At UFC Final 117, Gokhan Saki would knock Enrique de Silva out with a vicious left hook, scoring the knockout victory. He was next scheduled to face Khalil Rountree Jr. at UFC 219, but was forced to pull out due to an injury. With his explosive knockout power displayed in his UFC debut, I believe he has the fighting style to have fans tune into his fights, where it will be interesting to see how he develops in 2018. Number 8. Zabit Magomedsharipov made his explosive UFC debut against Mike Santiago at UFC Final 115, where he showed a range of flashy kicks, including a Showtime kick. He was able to get the fight to the ground in the second round, where he won the fight by a rear naked choke. He next faced Marlon Moraes at UFC Final 122, where he was able to get the fight to the ground again, where he sunk in a third round anaconda choke, forcing the tap. His exciting fighting style will be fun to watch as he moves forward against the elite of the division. It will be interesting to see how he deals with tougher competition as he moves up the featherweight rankings in 2018. Number 7. Eryk Anders made his short notice debut, replacing injured Alessio Di Chirico against Rafael Natal at UFC on Fox 25. In the fight, Eryk Anders wasted no time, where he pressured Rafael Natal against the cage, eventually landing a brutal left hand, getting the knockout victory. He next dominated Marcus Perez at UFC Final 123, winning the fight by unanimous decision. With 2 dominant wins in the UFC, he's now scheduled to face former UFC champion Lyoto Machida at UFC Final 125. I believe if he runs through Lyoto Machida, this will move him up with the killers of the middleweight division. The 185-pound division is filled with so much talent, where it will be interesting to see how Eryk Anders progresses in 2018. Number 6. Paulo Costa was set to make his UFC debut against Gareth McLellan at UFC Final 106. Paulo Costa had compiled a mixed martial arts record of 8-0, where his wins all consisted in violent finishes. At UFC Final 106, he butchered Gareth McLellan against the cage, eventually getting the TKO victory. He next finished Oluwale Bamboshe by TKO at UFC 212, and last made easy work of former UFC champion Johnny Hendricks, where he finished him by TKO at UFC 217. With 3 violent finishes in the UFC, Paulo Costa looks terrifying, where his competition will only get harder as he progresses up the middleweight ladder. It will be interesting to see how he handles the best middleweights in the top 10 rankings in 2018. Number 5. Nicco Montano competed on the Ultimate Fighter Season 26, where the winner of the tournament would be crowned as the first ever UFC Women's Flyweight Champion of the world. She defeated Lauren Murphy, Montana Stewart, and Bob Honchak, where she faced Roxanne Modefri in the finals. After the 5 rounds, the unanimous decision was given to Nicco Montano, who became the UFC Women's Flyweight Champion of the world. The newly formed flyweight division is stacked with great fighters such as Valentina Shevchenko, Alexis Davis, and many more. It will be interesting to see how her run as the champion will go in 2018. Number 4. Marlon Moraes was set to make his UFC debut against top bantamweight contender Rafael Assunção at UFC 212. Marlon Moraes had been the long-reigning World Series of Fighting bantamweight champion who was just running through his opponents with his Muay Thai skills. At UFC 212, both fighters fought for all 3 rounds, but the split decision was given to Rafael Assunção. Marlon Moraes made his return against John Dodson at UFC Final 120, where after the 3 rounds, the split decision was given to Marlon Moraes. He next made a quick turnaround and faced top bantamweight contender Aljamain Sterling at UFC Final 123, where he would land a brutal knee, knocking Aljamain Sterling out cold. With a 2-1 record in the UFC, Marlon Moraes is just a couple of wins away from securing himself a title shot. It will be interesting to see how Marlon Moraes does against the top 5 killers of the bantamweight division in 2018. Number 3. Justin Gaethje was set to make his UFC debut against then top lightweight contender Michael Johnson at the Ultimate Fighter 25 finale. Justin Gaethje had been one of the best lightweights outside of the UFC, who had just been smashing his competition with his exciting fighting style. At the Ultimate Fighter 25 finale, both Michael Johnson and Justin Gaethje caused chaos inside the octagon in an action-packed fight. Justin Gaethje picked up the pace in the second round, where he was able to get the TKO victory. He next faced former UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez at UFC 218, where both fighters put on a wall, where Eddie Alvarez was was able to land a heavy knee, knocking out Justin Gaethje in the 3rd round. With 2 crazy back-to-back fights, Justin Gaethje has quickly become a fan favourite fighter, where it will be interesting to see if he can bring himself closer to a title shot in 2018. Number 2. Cynthia Calvillo was set to make a UFC debut against Amanda Cooper at UFC 209. Before making a professional debut, she was on the sidelines for almost 2 years due to injuries. Once she was ready to go, she would fight 7 times professionally in 11 months, where she would earn a top 10 ranking spot in the strawweight division. In her UFC debut at UFC 209, she would defeat Amanda Cooper by a rear naked choke, and next made a quick turnaround, where she defeated Pearl Gonzalez by a rear naked choke again at UFC 210. She next faced ranked Joanne Calderwood at UFC Final 133, where after all 3 rounds, the unanimous decision was given to Cynthia Calvillo. She will next face former UFC strawweight champion Carla Esparza at UFC 219, where after the 3 rounds, the unanimous decision was given to Carla Esparza. With a 3-1 record in the UFC, it will be interesting to see if she is still able to surge towards the top 5 of the strawweight division in 2018. Number 1. Volkan Oezdemir was able to put himself on the map when he pulled off a split decision victory over Ovin St. Preux at UFC Final 104. He would next need only 70 seconds to knock out both Misha Sakunov and Jimmy Manuwa, which immediately shot him into the top 5 rankings. His vicious knockout power was enough to grant him a title shot against the current UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier at UFC 220. It will be interesting to see how he deals with DC's wrestling ability and if he is able to put away the champion in a dominant fashion.